Have you ever noticed how people treat you differently once you start to rise? The real test of character doesn't come when you're broken. It comes when you begin to succeed. Because when God starts lifting you up, that's when the truth about people is revealed. You can tell a lot about someone, not by how they comfort you in pain, but by how they react when you step into your purpose. Some of the people closest to you, family, friends, even those who once stood by your side through struggle, might secretly hate you. Not because you did anything wrong, but because they can't stand to see you free while they're still stuck. They'll say they love you, that they support you, but that love often has an expiration date. As long as you're broken, they're loyal. As long as you're struggling, they're your biggest cheerleaders. But the moment you start rising, truly rising, their smiles tighten, their words grow short, and their presence begins to fade. That's not love. That's resentment disguised as loyalty. And the saddest part? We often miss the signs because we're too grateful to have anyone at all, too exhausted to look deeper. So we call their absence giving space. We call their silence respecting boundaries. But deep down, your spirit knows. It knows when the energy shifts. It feels when applause turns hollow, when "I'm proud of you" starts to sound more like a performance than a prayer. You don't have to do anything wrong for someone to secretly despise you. Sometimes your success is simply too loud for the ones who never imagined you'd make it. It bothers them because it reminds them of what they haven't accomplished. It bruises their pride because they only liked you when you depended on them. Now that you're standing on your own, they don't feel needed, they feel threatened. These are the people who want you to stay small, defeated, and desperate for their approval. But God didn't call you to shrink so others could feel tall. You weren't saved to stay small. And if their support disappears the moment your confidence grows, then their love was never rooted in truth. Some people stay close only to witness your downfall. But when they see you rising instead, they vanish. They stop calling, stop checking in. Not because they're busy, but because they're bitter. They can't handle the version of you that's no longer desperate, broken, or easy to control. It's hard to accept, but you must. Because if you don't, you'll keep dragging dead weight into places they were never meant to go. You'll keep seeking approval from people God already exposed through silence. You'll keep dimming your light to comfort those whose hearts can't handle your growth. But your purpose is too urgent for that. Your calling is too great for that. You don't owe explanations to people who disappear when you finally find your strength. And remember, just because someone walks with you doesn't mean they're walking for you. Some only walk close enough to see where you fall. They're not. Not everyone walking beside you is walking in agreement with your purpose. Some stay close only to measure how far you've come and to position themselves ahead. But hear this, when God has ordered your steps, no amount of quiet competition can delay what He has declared. Your victory doesn't depend on their approval. Your anointing isn't threatened by their envy. What God has planned for you is already settled in heaven, and no human ego can overturn it. So stop seeking validation from those secretly comparing themselves to you. Stop explaining your journey to people who only listen so they can outdo your story. You don't need to keep pace with those trying to pull you down. Let them race ahead if they must. Let them talk louder if they choose. But you, keep your eyes on the one who called you. Walk in peace, not performance. Grow with grace, not games. Because your success was never meant to threaten anyone. It was meant to testify. There's a deep kind of betrayal that doesn't come from what someone does to you. It comes from what they refuse to see in you. You can be surrounded by people who've known you for years, shared your table, walked beside you, and still feel invisible. Because someone who secretly resents you will claim to know you, but they'll never truly see you. They'll remind you of your flaws, your failures, your past. They'll try to keep you chained to the lowest version of yourself because admitting your growth would threaten their illusion of superiority. You talk about change, and they insist you haven't changed. You speak about healing, and they call it pretend. You open your heart, and they close theirs, because who you've become challenges their comfort. People like this thrive on the old you, the broken you, the dependent you, the version they could manage and define. But now that you're whole, now that you're walking in purpose, they act as if they don't recognize you. And maybe they don't. Maybe the real issue isn't that you've changed too much. It's that they never truly saw you in the first place. They were too busy defining you by your weakest seasons to imagine you stepping into your strongest one. Too focused on your stumbles to ever believe in your stride. Now that you're walking in clarity, they act confused. Now that your mind is made up, they question your identity. But don't let that shake you. Their blindness is not your burden. Some people use your past like a leash, reminding you of every mistake, every failure, every dark moment, not to help you grow, but to keep you from going forward. Because deep down, your growth threatens their comfort. Your healing makes them uneasy. Your discipline exposes their delay. And instead of rising with you, they try to reduce you, not with open hatred, but with subtle condescension, quiet dismissals, and silence that screams louder than words ever could. You'll hear it in their tone. They'll say, "You've changed," not with admiration, but accusation. They'll sneer, "You think you're